We have Jad Khalife, Director of Sales Engineering, Middle East and Turkey, from Dataiku, sharing his thoughts on scaling of AI within the organization. Welcome. Jad Khalife leads the sales engineering team in the Middle East at Dataiku. As a part of his role, he assists customers and prospects in the Middle East in uncovering the value of AI. Jad, over to you.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for making your way back to the room after the break. So, my name is Jad. I am a director at Dataiku in the Middle East region. I'm based out of Dubai. And in the next 15 to 20 minutes, I'm going to be talking to you about how we help, as Dataiku, scale AI in the organization. So if you're just getting started with AI in your organization, or you already got started and you're looking to scale this to hundreds or thousands of AI products in your organization, please stick around, because I believe the next 15 minutes might be relevant to you. Of course, if you'd like more information, we're outside, we're on booth 4, if you'd like to see a demo of the product. So first, what do we mean by scaling AI? I think the best way to understand what we mean by everyday AI, as we call it, is to listen to one of our customers, Etihad Airways, speaking about how they have leveraged Dataiku to scale AI in their organization. So I hope the video plays.
Etihad Airways is the national carrier of the United Arab Emirates. It was created in 2003 by an Emirate decree by His Royal Highness Sheikh Khalife bin Zayed Al Nahyan. The vision of Etihad is choose well. We are customer focused, so we would like to serve the best service to our guests. Since the pandemic, we had to review our 5-year plans, and we had as well to review the positioning of Etihad. We are going to be a middle-sized carrier. Based on that, our governance and our way of working or our way of thinking will change. We have to be a more streamlined organization, more agile, more efficient.
Etihad is on a digital transformation path. Our data strategy supports Etihad's vision by harnessing all of the data that's available across the organization, breaking down the silos to enhance every business process that we have. And this is to drive customer engagement, to drive operational efficiencies, and to make us compliant with different regulations and give business good visibility and predictability of all IT deliverables. Dataiku is one of the critical components of our enterprise data platform, like a Swiss Army knife that gives our data science community all the tools that they need, easily accessible in one place, and it facilitates collaboration across different groups of stakeholders.
In the world that we are in today, we have multiple people with multiple different backgrounds, with different understanding of data. There's some who come from a technical background, who love working on R and Python and Scala, and there are others who come from a business background. So the ability to get everybody together, regardless of their roles, is something which is key. So imagine a platform that addresses not just the needs of the data scientist community, but also the business analyst, the data engineer, the line of business manager, and the cloud architect.
Dataiku helps us take our data to the next level by acting as a glue. It's provided great opportunities to upskill a lot of analysts as well. You can literally drag and drop very powerful recipes or essentially processes that even someone who doesn't know how to program can then use to build a pipeline and to figure out, well, I know enough about data and I know enough about the business requirements that I can almost automate my own pipeline. Dataiku has helped us develop use cases across the organization. One of the projects I'm most proud of is an email classification API, which helps reduce resolution times. Through man-hour savings alone, there's over $1 million over the next 5 years saved from that. Dataiku, from my perspective, is not just a really good data science platform. The way Dataiku treats its partnerships with customers like Etihad doesn't stop just at checking in and making sure you know about the latest functionalities, but they go a step beyond in terms of consultation, helping build out frameworks, helping really understand what's the best way to utilize the platform and any other new technologies.
When we look at a partner, we look at someone we can trust, someone who can understand basically our own culture as Etihad. Dataiku managed to really build the trust with Etihad, with the senior leadership team, as well as with our project managers. There is a lot of respect. Dataiku will clearly be super supportive, here for us, spend a lot of time helping us. And they successfully managed to understand our culture and understand the challenges of the aviation sectors. And they are as well aligned with the mindset we are looking for, and they can share that entrepreneurship spirit with us.
So that was Etihad speaking about their partnership with Dataiku, and maybe just to present the company. So as Dataiku, we were founded in 2013. So if you're wondering where the name comes from, it's actually a merger of two words, data and haiku, which is a form of Japanese poetry, which is very clean and structured. So our vision back in 2013 was that we wanted to help customers bring insights out of their data in a structured manner, in a clear manner. And obviously the vision evolved because we democratized data science across the organization, and enterprises started building AI models at a very large scale. We started having more than 500 customers building hundreds and thousands of AI models in their organization. So now we became the platform that is concerned about how to manage AI at scale in a governed and elastic manner. We have, of course, many customers in the Middle East, many leading entities in the kingdom who have standardized on Dataiku as a platform. Our software is today at version 11, and a lot of focus is being put on governance of AI models and bringing explainability into the AI process. Now, 10 years ago, it was all about data, how to uncover insights of data, how to build reports and dashboards out of the data. Today, the value of AI is proven. So there's a report by McKinsey that estimates the value of AI in trillions of dollars across industry. So the problem is no longer about how can I get started implementing a single use case. The question is really about how can I uncover all this value that lies in my business. So rather than thinking about how we can implement as an organization a single use case on the left, the issue becomes how can I democratize and how can I scale AI across the organization so that it no longer becomes the ownership of a single team of data scientists who are experts in data science and would develop the AI models that I require, but rather making AI available in the hands of all users. And this is what we call extraordinary users. It's literally democratizing data science in the organization. And we believe there are three pillars in this journey. The most important pillar is collaboration, because AI and data science is a team sport. So I've taken a blog post from Ericsson. So Ericsson is a large client of ours. And in this blog post, they describe the work that it takes to build an AI model and push it into production. So quoting them, you notice here all the different roles that are involved in creating an AI product. You have the business, who knows the business, they're the business owners, they're very familiar with what they do, but then they need the analyst to get the data and do this data crunching. And the analyst would need the data engineer, and the data engineer would need the data scientist, and the data scientist needs an ML engineer. So all these people are on their own, they're great, they do a great job, but then they need to collaborate to successfully push a successful model from design into production. And this is exactly why AI has to be a team sport, to allow collaboration and successful pushing of models into production. Second, I'm going to use an interesting study that was published in a book called The Difference by Scott Page. So this book investigates the difference in the outcome of teams depending on the profile of the team participants. So in essence, what this book concludes is that the outcome of a team depends less on individuals' performance, but more on the diversity within the team. And this can be surprising or unsurprising for some, but the idea is if you have a team, the performance probably does not depend if you have a very high performance in your team, like an individual who's highly performant, but rather whether your team is coming from a diverse background, as it's coming or is bringing different perspective into the table. So bring this into AI. How does this diversity translate into the AI world? Essentially what we're saying, to make AI models and products successful, you don't need a single data scientist who's very skilled and who knows R and Python and who's going to work on this model, but rather diversity matters. You need the product manager to be involved. You need the analyst to be involved. You need the data science to be involved so that they can all collaborate on making your AI initiatives successful. I said the journey is 3 pillars, and the second pillar is about platform, because your teams can collaborate, but they need the platform that will help them or facilitate this collaboration. So I'm going to quote another article published in MIT Sloan Management Review, which says that if you spend $1 on training your model, because we think that AI is all about the model, right? So if you spend $1 on training this model, you need to spend $100 on deploying and maintaining the model. So the question becomes, how do you want to spend your $101? And this is actually a known problem in machine learning, and this is why today we have the whole field of ML ops, because it's one thing to actually train a model, but it's a completely different practice to deploy and monitor and maintain the model, and this is where the value of ML comes from. Let's take another example from 2 Silicon Valley giants, Google and Uber. So in Google research, there was a paper, and I put the link here, that says that 5% of the code that is needed to build an ML model is actually machine learning training, and 95% is glue code. So glue code is the code that you need to set up the infra, to connect to the data sources, to make sure that the drivers are connected. So essentially what we're saying is 5% of the work is machine learning, and 95% is something else, just to make sure that the setup and the ecosystem are ready. And this is obviously counterintuitive because it's a lot of work being put, and maybe the real innovation, which is the 5%, is not really relevant. Another example is from Uber, who wanted to deploy ML at scale. And they realized that they need a platform. So they need a reliable, reproducible way to push these models into production. And they realized there was no path to push these models into production. So this all brings us to the cost or the advantage of having a platform. Because think of the blue line as the revenue that you get out of the use cases. The first use cases you will implement will bring a lot of value. And this is why it's going to be increasing in the very beginning. But if your cost is linear, if you spend your $101 on every use case, your cost is going to be linear. And soon, you're going to be seeing that you're no longer making profit out of the incremental use cases that you're building because your cost is linear. And this is exactly where a platform can help. Because rather than having to spend the same amount of effort and the same amount of money on building every use case, you can actually reuse some of the assets that you built for use case 1 and use them for use case 2. You can actually make people collaborate so that your analyst can help you do a data wrangling, and then use that same data across many different use cases. So this is where, even though your revenue curve will look the same, your cost will not be no longer linear, and then you can start making revenue out of implementing data science use cases. And this is actually a study we have done to see how a platform can help reduce the time it takes to build models from months to weeks. And this is really the value of an AI platform. So rather than putting the same amount of effort every time you need to build a new use case from scratch, you can actually make teams collaborate, leverage from the business user's experience, reuse data that has already been cleansed, to reduce the time it takes to have a product that is ready to go to market. The third pillar is governance. And this is something that's often overlooked. Because when you're talking about 50 models or 100 AI products that are running in production, it's important to govern these. So today in the machine learning world, we have new roles that are being added. We have the governance managers, we have the risk managers who want to make sure that we're following the proper rules when we're pushing these models into production. These models are not biased against specific populations. And this is why when we look at scale, as much as it is important to consider the business value of these ML models which are being pushed into production, it's also important to consider AI governance, responsible AI, and operations, so how you can monitor and deploy these models when they're running at scale. And this is why platforms like Dataiku can help, because platforms like Dataiku will cater for different users of different profiles and will allow the data scientists, the Python experts, the analysts, the statisticians, the Excel users to come into a single place so that they can collaborate on building successful AI products. The platform looks like this. It's a visual interface with processors that are available for what we call the clickers and the coders to allow them to collaborate on building a data science use cases while maintaining full governance and transparency. And to even accelerate the impact of AI and to allow you to implement use cases even faster, our platform comes with ready models or ready products that, depending on your industry, will allow you to get started with ready-to-use AI projects in weeks instead of spending months on building these AI models. Now, of course, we're also ranked twice in the Gartner Leader, and we're happy to walk you through these results. And if you'd like to learn more about our platform, we have our demo booth outside on booth 4. You can even go to this URL and then start a trial on dataiku.com, get started. You have access for 14 days so that you can experience what the power of platform can bring to you. This is also our academy where you can do the self-service training to get certified on Dataiku. And that's it. That's our tagline. By allowing collaboration, governance, and providing a platform, we enable what we call everyday AI by turning the users into extraordinary people. Thank you very much for listening. We're outside. Please stop by for additional questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Jad.